It's late afternoon, and you're standing at the kitchen counter, hands still wet from washing a single cup, when the thought comes back, the same one you gave to God this morning. You thought you'd set it down. You really did. And yet here it is again, sitting quietly in your hands, right in the middle of an ordinary hour. Have you noticed how a worry can find its way back to you like that? Not with a crash, but with a quiet slip. Right there at the sink. Right there folding a towel. Right there waiting for the kettle to boil. You are not imagining it. And you are not failing at something you were supposed to have finished by now, because God was not surprised when you picked that worry back up. He was already close to you before you even noticed it in your hands again. And He is close enough right now to help you open them. Gently. One more time. So, before anything else, let your shoulders drop just a little. Let your breath go long and slow. In and out. You don't have to explain yourself here. You don't have to perform a piece you don't fully feel yet. You are simply welcome, exactly as you are. Worry and all, there is nothing to fix before you're allowed to sit with Him. Just this moment. Just your breath. Just you. Being seen. Maybe it's not a kitchen counter for you. Maybe it's a steering wheel at a red light, or a pillow at midnight, or the pause right before you fall asleep, when the day finally goes quiet enough for the worry to speak up. Wherever it finds you, whatever ordinary object it hides behind, God already knows the shape of it, and He is not waiting for you to arrive somewhere calmer before He comes close. Before we pray, let's take a moment to remember everything that is already a gift in your life. Start here, with something small and undeniable. You are breathing right now, in and out. That breath was not owed to you, and yet it came anyway, quietly, without you asking for it even once today. Thank God for that breath. Thank Him too for the body carrying you through today, tired as it may be. For hands that washed a cup, for legs that walked you to this moment, for eyes that are open enough right now to receive a little rest. You have been carrying so much, and still, you are here. Still soft enough to feel, still awake enough to notice the weight. That is not weakness. That is a heart that is fully alive, and a heart that is fully alive is something to thank God for. Think, for a moment, of the roof over your head tonight. However humble, however familiar. Think of the food that has found its way to your table more times than you've counted. Think of the people who, even in their imperfect way, have loved you. A voice on the phone, a hand on your shoulder, a name you whisper in prayer because you can't stop caring about them. Thank God for every one of them, and thank Him too for this. For the very fact that you can worry. It sounds strange to be grateful for that, but worry is not proof that you don't trust Him. Worry is proof that you love deeply enough to feel afraid of losing what matters. That capacity to care is a gift, even when it aches. Think of this morning. Maybe you prayed. Maybe you set something down at His feet, sincerely, fully meaning it. And maybe, hours later, your hands found their way back to it anyway. That is not a failure of your faith. That is simply what it means to be human, carrying something heavy in a world that keeps handing it back to you every few hours. Thank Him that He does not measure your faith by how long you manage to hold the peace. He measures it by the fact that you keep coming back to him. Again, and again, and again, and he never once grows tired of receiving you. Thank him for mornings and for the mercy folded quietly inside every one of them. A fresh start, a fresh breath, a fresh chance to set the weight down again. Thank him for evenings too, for the way the light softens, for the permission a closing day gives you to finally stop, to finally rest, to finally exhale everything you held on to since sunrise. Think of a small kindness you received recently, something you almost didn't notice, a stranger's patience, an unexpected message, a moment of quiet in a loud day. Thank him for that, because grace so often arrives in disguise, small and unannounced, and it is still grace, and thank him, finally, for this exact moment. Right now, for choosing to sit here, for choosing him again, even with a heart that is still learning how to trust, even with hands that keep reaching back for the worry they were supposed to have released. That choosing is itself a form of faith. Coming back is not the opposite of trust. Coming back is trust, practiced one imperfect, honest moment at a time. Think, too, of the ordinary rhythms that hold your days together, ones you rarely stop to notice. The sound of a door closing when someone you love comes home safely. The warmth of water on your hands when you wash the dishes at the end of a long day. The particular quiet of your own room at night, familiar enough that even in the dark, you know exactly where everything is. Thank him for your senses, for eyes that can still find beauty, even on hard days, a certain color of sky, a certain kind of light through a window, for ears that can still hear a voice you love say your name, for a sense of touch that lets you feel a hand on your shoulder, and know for a moment that you are not facing this alone. Thank him for your mind, even the parts of it that worry too much, because that same mind is also the one that remembers, that plans, that cares enough to notice when something matters. It is a gift, even when it feels tired. Think of a hard season you have already come through, one you weren't sure you would survive at the time. And yet, here you are. Whatever carried you through that season is still here, still willing, still able to carry you through this one too. Thank him for that faithfulness, proven already in your own history. Thank him for second chances, for every morning that has ever let you begin again, after a day that didn't go the way you hoped, for the fact that his mercy has never once run out on you, no matter how many mornings you've needed it. And thank him, gently, for this small act of sitting still right now, for choosing, in the middle of everything asking for your attention, to give a few quiet minutes to him. That choice matters more than it feels like it does. Think of the ordinary conversations that filled your week. A laugh shared with someone you love, an unexpected kind word from a coworker, a simple, "How are you?" that meant more than the person asking probably realized. Thank him for each small thread of connection, woven quietly through days that might have otherwise felt like just one more week to get through. Thank him for the roof that has held over your head through every storm this year, literal and otherwise, for clean water at the turn of a tap, for light at the flip of a switch. These are so easy to take for granted, and yet for so many people in this world, They are the very things being prayed for tonight. You already have them. Let that be a reason for gratitude rather than guilt. Thank Him for your capacity to keep going, even on the days it felt like the smallest possible effort. Getting out of bed on a heavy morning, showing up to work when your heart wasn't fully in it, choosing to be kind to someone even while you were struggling yourself. Those are not small things. Those are quiet acts of faith, even when they didn't feel like prayers at the time. And thank Him for grace itself, the simple, undeserved kindness that keeps meeting you at your lowest points, asking nothing of you first, only inviting you to receive it. Think, finally, of the people who have prayed for you without you even knowing it. A friend who thought of you unexpectedly and whispered your name to God. A family member who has quietly carried you in their own prayers longer than you realize. You are more covered, more held, more thought of than you often feel on your hardest days. Thank Him for that unseen covering woven around you by people who love you more quietly than you ever noticed. Now that your heart is open and grateful, let us bring everything you carry to God in prayer. God, I come to you again tonight, the way I came this morning, and the way I will probably come again tomorrow, because this is simply how it goes for me right now. I gave you this worry once already. You know the one. I said the words. I meant them. And for a little while, my chest felt lighter. And then, somewhere between 1 hour and the next, without even deciding to, I picked it back up. I don't fully understand why I do that. I don't think I mean to. It's more like my hands simply know the shape of that worry so well that they reach for it out of habit, the way you'd reach for a familiar chair in the dark. But you already knew this about me, didn't you? Before I ever prayed this prayer, you knew I would need to pray it again. And still you are here. Still your patience has not run out. Still your love has not shrunk 1 inch to make room for disappointment in me. Thank you for that. Thank you for a love that isn't undone by my inconsistency. I think about how many times this has happened across my life, not just today. A worry surrendered in a moment of sincere prayer, only to return by evening, dressed in the same familiar shape. A fear released on a Sunday, back again by Wednesday, as if it had simply been waiting nearby the whole time. I used to think that pattern meant something was wrong with my faith. Now I wonder if it simply means I am human, living in a world that keeps offering me new reasons to be afraid, and that you have never once expected me to be anything other than that. There is a story of a man who came to you, desperate for his child to be healed, and when you asked if he believed, he answered with the most honest words I think anyone has ever prayed. I believe. Help my unbelief. He didn't wait until his faith was flawless to ask for help. He brought you his belief and his doubt in the very same breath, tangled together, unresolved, and you met him there anyway. I want to pray that same prayer tonight. I believe, Lord. Help the part of me that keeps forgetting to stay in that belief. Lord, I want to name this honestly, because I think you'd rather have my honesty than my performance. I am tired of the cycle of surrendering something and then quietly taking it back. Tired of feeling like every piece I find is temporary, borrowed, waiting to be interrupted by the next wave of what if. I think part of me believes that if I stop worrying, I stopped being careful. That if I let this go completely, something bad will slip through while I'm not watching. I think, somewhere underneath it all, worry has started to feel like love, like the only way I know how to hold on to the people and things I care about. But that's not true, is it? You don't ask me to love with clenched fists. You ask me to love with open hands. And you promise to hold what I can't. So here I am again, Lord, opening my hands. Not because I've mastered this, not because I'll never take it back again, but because right now, in this exact moment, I choose to place it with you anyway. Say this quietly with me, wherever you are, in your own voice, in your own time. I am not alone in this. I give it to you again, and I trust you to hold it even better than I ever could. There is no shame in saying that more than once. There is no shame in needing to say it again tomorrow. Grace was never a one-time transaction. Grace is a door you keep leaving open, no matter how many times I walk back through it. Lord, I think of all the small moments across an ordinary week when this worry finds its way back to me. Driving, with the radio low, my mind drifting to the same unresolved thing. Lying in bed, staring at a ceiling I know too well. Running through everything I haven't fixed yet. Scrolling my phone at midnight, half hoping something on the screen will distract me from the thought I can't put down. You are present in every one of those moments too, aren't you? Not just here, in this quiet space I set aside for you, but there, in the car, in the dark, in the glow of a screen at an hour I should be asleep. I don't have to wait until I feel spiritual enough to reach you. You are already exactly where I am. Lord, I bring you the specific things sitting heaviest on me right now. I bring you my fear about money. The quiet arithmetic that runs in the back of my mind late at night, wondering if there will be enough, wondering if I'm doing enough, wondering what happens if the ground I'm standing on shifts. I ask you to meet me there, not with a spreadsheet, but with peace that doesn't depend on the numbers adding up perfectly today. I bring you my worry for the people I love, the ones whose choices I can't control, whose health I can't guarantee, whose hearts I can't protect, no matter how much I wish I could stand between them and every hard thing life sends. I release my grip on their outcomes, even though my hands shake a little as I do it, and I ask you to watch over them tonight in ways I never could. I bring you my exhaustion. The kind that sleep doesn't fully touch. The kind that comes from holding too much for too long. From being the strong one, the reliable one, the one everyone assumes is fine. Lord, I don't always feel fine. Tonight, I don't have to pretend that I do. I bring you the disappointment I carry, quietly, about things that didn't turn out the way I hoped. Doors that closed, timing that didn't line up, prayers that seemed to still be waiting on an answer. I don't understand your timing. I don't ask you to explain it tonight. I only ask you to help me trust it. And I bring you this. The shame I sometimes feel for worrying at all, as if a person with enough faith wouldn't feel this way. Lord, take that shame from me too. Let me believe, really believe, that you are not disappointed in me for being human. Lord, I bring you my health, and the small aches and fears that come with a body that doesn't always cooperate the way I wish it would. I bring you the appointments I'm dreading, the results I'm waiting on, the quiet fear of what a doctor might one day say. I don't ask you to promise me nothing hard will ever come. I ask you to walk with me through whatever does. I bring you my work and the pressure to prove I belong there, to keep up, to not fall behind, to not become the person who disappoints the people counting on me. I bring you the comparisons I make without meaning to, looking at someone else's life, someone else's timing, someone else's ease, and wondering quietly why mine has to be so much harder. Lord, help me release that measuring. My path was never meant to look like theirs. I bring you the mistakes from my past that still visit me sometimes, uninvited, in the quiet hours. The things I said and wish I hadn't. The chances I let pass. The version of myself I sometimes wish I could go back and protect. I ask you to help me hold those memories without letting them define who I am becoming. And I bring you the quiet fear of being a burden. The worry that if I let people see how much I'm actually carrying, they will grow tired of me. Or worse, that I will grow tired of myself. Lord, remind me that you have never once grown tired of me. Not on my hardest day, not on my most repetitive night of the same old worry. I notice, Lord, that naming all of this out loud already feels different than carrying it silently. There is something about speaking a fear directly to you, instead of just replaying it in my own mind, that loosens its grip just slightly. Not because the circumstances have changed yet, simply because I am no longer holding it alone in the dark. You are holding it with me now, in the light of this honest prayer. I don't need every one of these worries resolved tonight to feel your peace settle over me. I only need to know that you heard each one, that none of them was too small to bring to you, and none of them was too heavy for you to receive. Peace is not the absence of a hard day. Peace is your presence, steady in the middle of one. Strength is not the feeling of having it all together. Strength is showing up again, honestly, even when you don't. Grace is not something I earn by finally getting this right. Grace is what meets me exactly where I keep failing to get it right. Rest is not waiting for every worry to disappear. Rest is laying my head down anyway, trusting that you are awake even when I finally get to sleep. Lord, I want to remember something tonight that I keep forgetting in the middle of ordinary days. That surrender was never meant to be a single dramatic moment I complete once and never repeat. It was always meant to be small and daily, and sometimes even hourly. A grip loosened here, a breath released there, a quiet decision made over and over to trust you again in this specific hour, with this specific worry, in this specific ordinary place I happen to be standing. I think of how many times a day my hands could open like this, if I let them. Waiting in a line somewhere, worry tightening my chest for no clear reason, and choosing, right there, to open my hands. Watching the news and feeling the world's weight press in on me all at once, and choosing, right there, to open my hands. Waking at 3 a.m. with my mind already running, and choosing, right there, in the dark, to open my hands. None of those moments require a church or a candle or the perfect words. They only require a willingness to turn toward you again, however small the turning is. And you have never once despised a small turning. You have never once said my faith wasn't dramatic enough to count. I think, too, of the specific thing I have been waiting on you for. The answer that hasn't come yet. The door that hasn't opened yet. The healing or provision or peace I have prayed for more times than I can count. Lord, I don't fully understand why it hasn't come. I don't ask you to explain it to me tonight. I only ask you to help me keep trusting you in the waiting, the same way I keep trusting you with this worry, over and over. Even when the outcome is still unclear, remind me of the times you have already come through for me, even when I couldn't see it coming. The provision that arrived just when I needed it, and not a moment before. The relationship that healed in a way I didn't think was possible. The strength I found on a day I was certain I had none left. You have a history with me, Lord, and that history is proof I can lean on when the present moment feels uncertain. I don't need a guarantee about tomorrow to trust you tonight. I only need to remember who you have already been to me. Faithful, patient, present, and never once absent, even on the nights I felt most alone. There is a wave to this, Lord, and I think I am finally starting to understand its rhythm. The tension rises, a thought intrudes, a fear tightens in my chest. My hands instinctively reach for control I don't actually have. And then, if I let it, the relief follows. A breath, a remembering, a returning to you, and the tightness eases, even if only a little, even if only for a while. I used to resent this wave. I wanted the tension to simply stop arriving, but maybe the wave itself is not the enemy. Maybe the wave is simply proof that I am alive and feeling and still willing to bring what I feel back to you instead of hiding it away somewhere you can't reach. I think of the woman who reached out in a crowd just to touch the edge of your robe, believing that even that small contact would be enough. She didn't wait until she had a polished prayer or perfect composure or a fully resolved heart. She reached out exactly as she was, desperate and hopeful in the same breath, and that was enough. Lord, tonight my prayer is not polished either. It is honest and repetitive and still learning. Let that be enough too. I think of the disciples caught in a storm, terrified, waking you from sleep because they were certain they were about to be lost. You didn't scold them for being afraid before you calmed the wind. You met them in the boat, in the middle of the storm, before the water ever went still. Lord, meet me in my boat tonight too. I don't need the storm to be over before I feel you near. Lord, I also bring you the people who are carrying the same kind of weight tonight, wherever they are. Someone else, right now, is standing at their own kitchen counter, holding their own version of this worry, wondering if they're the only one who keeps failing to let it go. I ask you to meet them too, gently, in whatever ordinary moment finds them tonight. Let them know, somehow, that they are not alone in this either. Lord, I ask you now for something practical, something for the hours ahead. When this worry tries to find its way back into my hands again tonight, or tomorrow morning, or 3 days from now at some ordinary, unremarkable moment, I ask you to meet me there too. Not just here, in this quiet, dedicated space of prayer, but there, in the kitchen, in the car, in the middle of the night when my mind won't settle, Teach me that giving something to you is not a single event I have to get perfect. It's a posture. It's a practice. It's something I get to keep choosing over and over for as long as I need to, without you ever once holding the repetition against me. I don't need to arrive at perfect trust tonight. I only need to take one more step toward it, and you will meet me exactly there. I think, too, of how patient a good parent is with a child still learning to walk. They don't expect steady steps the first time. They don't grow frustrated at every stumble. They simply stay close, arms ready, celebrating even the smallest bit of progress. Lord, be that patient with me tonight. I am still learning how to walk in this kind of trust, and I will stumble again, probably before this week is even over. Stay close anyway. Keep your arms ready anyway. I release my need to have this all figured out before I feel worthy of your peace. I release the belief that my worth in your eyes rises and falls with how well I manage my fear. I release the pressure to arrive at some finished version of faith before I'm allowed to rest tonight. What I hold on to instead is simply this: you are good, even when my circumstances are uncertain. You are near, even when I forget to notice. You are faithful, even on the nights my own faith feels thin and worn out. That is enough to build tonight's peace on. It was always enough. I think about tomorrow morning, Lord, before it even arrives. I know there will likely be a moment, maybe early, maybe not until afternoon, when this same worry tries to slip back into my hands the way it always does. I don't want to spend tonight pretending that moment won't come. I would rather prepare for it honestly, right now, in your presence, than be caught off guard by it later and mistake it for failure. So let this prayer be something I can return to. Let the peace I'm feeling in this quiet moment leave a kind of trail behind it, one I can find again tomorrow, even if only faintly, even if only for a few seconds before I remember to breathe and come back to you. Let's say this together once more, quietly, from wherever you're sitting or lying down right now. I release this, and even if I pick it back up again, I know your grace will still be here, waiting, patient, unchanged. Thank you, Lord, for a love that does not run out of patience with me. Thank you for meeting me in the same place, again and again, without ever making me feel small for needing to come back. And as you rest in these words, hear what God wants to whisper to your heart today. I know you take the worry back. I have always known this about you, long before tonight, long before this prayer. I was not surprised the first time, and I will not be surprised the next. You think this makes you weak in faith? I see it differently. I see someone who keeps returning to me, even after failing to stay fully at rest. That returning is not weakness. That returning is love, practiced imperfectly. And I would rather have your imperfect returning than a peace you only pretend to feel. You are not the only one who has ever done this. Long ago, there was a man who cried out, "I believe. Help my unbelief." He was not asking me to erase his doubt before he was allowed to come close. He was asking me to meet him exactly there, doubt and faith tangled together in the same breath. And I did. I always do. So hear me now. I am not measuring you by how long you can hold peace before your hands start reaching for the worry again. I am not keeping a record of every time you picked it back up. My love was never a reward for your consistency. It was a gift, given before you ever tried to earn it, and it remains a gift now, even on the nights you fail to fully rest in it. You are not made to carry tomorrow. You were only ever asked to carry today. And even today, you don't carry it alone. Consider the birds outside your window. They do not store up worry for winter before winter has come. They do not lie awake calculating every possible failure. And still, I feed them, day by day, season by season. You are worth more to me than they are. If I care for them this closely, do you really believe I have overlooked you? I know the specific shape of what worries you tonight. I know the number that keeps repeating in your mind. The person whose safety you can't stop thinking about. The outcome you're afraid to hope for. Because hoping and losing feels harder than not hoping at all. I see all of it. None of it is hidden from me, and none of it is too heavy for me to hold. Even on the nights it feels too heavy for you to hold alone, cast your anxiety on me. Not because I need it, but because I am able to carry what you were never meant to carry by yourself. This is not a one-time invitation. It is an open door. You may walk through it as many times as you need to, tonight, tomorrow, and every ordinary Tuesday after that. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, through prayer and petition, with a thankful heart, present your requests to me. And my peace, the kind that doesn't depend on your circumstances lining up first, will guard your heart and mind. Notice, I did not say your circumstances would resolve immediately. I said my peace would guard you regardless. That peace is available to you right now, in this exact unresolved moment. Not only after everything is finally figured out. You have asked me before why the worry keeps returning even after you've prayed. Here is what I want you to understand. Prayer was never meant to be a single transaction that permanently removes a struggle from your life. Prayer is a relationship, an ongoing conversation, a door you keep walking back through as many times as the same fear tries to visit you again. Every time you return to me with it, you are not starting over from zero. You are practicing trust, and practiced trust becomes stronger, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. I am close to you when your heart feels broken open by worry. I am not waiting somewhere far off for you to fix yourself first. I meet the brokenhearted exactly where they are, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the relapse into old fear, in the middle of the very moment you feel least deserving of peace. Say this quietly with me now, and let it settle into your chest as you do. I am held, even when I forget to feel held. I am loved, even on the days I take the worry back. You do not need to be finished healing to be worthy of my peace tonight. You do not need to have this fully figured out to be welcome in my presence. Come as you are, worry and all, and let me love you exactly there. I see the health you're afraid for, the body that doesn't always feel steady beneath you. I am the one who knit you together in the first place, and I have not stopped watching over you since. I see the work you're afraid of falling behind in, the pressure you carry to be enough for everyone counting on you. You do not have to be enough on your own. I am enough, and I am willing to be enough through you. I see the mistakes you keep replaying, the version of your past you wish you could rewrite. I do not see you the way you see yourself in those memories. I see someone I have already forgiven, someone I am still writing a future for, a future that is not limited by what came before. My mercies are new every single morning, which means the failure you're still carrying from yesterday does not get to define today. I see the fear of being a burden, the quiet worry that if people saw the full weight you carry, they would grow weary of you. I will never grow weary of you. Come to me, all of you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. That invitation was written for exactly this moment, exactly this tired heart. I have plans for you. Plans for peace, not for the harm you sometimes fear is coming. Plans for a future that is still unfolding, even on the days it feels stuck. I have not forgotten a single promise I have made to you, even the ones that haven't come to pass yet. My timing has never once failed you, even when it felt slower than you could bear. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold you up with my own hand, even when your grip on peace keeps slipping. You are not alone tonight, and you will not be alone tomorrow. No matter how many times this same worry tries to find its way back into your hands, every single time it does, I will still be here. Patient, steady, unbothered by your need to come back to me. I want you to hear something about who you are. Beneath all of this worry, you are not defined by how many times you've had to bring the same fear back to me. You are not defined by the anxious thought that visits you at 4 a.m., or the number that worries you late at night, or the outcome you can't stop rehearsing in your mind. Those things are what you're carrying. They are not who you are. You are mine. Chosen. Not because you finally proved yourself steady enough, but because I wanted you before you ever did anything to earn it. That has not changed tonight, and it will not change tomorrow. No matter how many times worry finds its way back into your hands, think of a tree planted by a steady stream, its roots reaching down deep enough to drink even when the season above ground turns dry. That is what I am building in you, slowly, through every one of these moments of coming back to me. Not a life with no storms, a life with roots deep enough to stay standing through them. You do not have to feel strong for me to call you strong. You do not have to feel at peace for my peace to be present with you right now. Faith was never about the feeling arriving first. Faith is the choosing, again and again, even before the feeling catches up. I am patient with the pace of your healing. I am patient with the pace of your trust. I am not in a hurry for you to arrive somewhere you are not yet ready to be. I will simply keep meeting you exactly where you are, for as long as it takes. The same grace that met you the first time you brought me this worry is the same grace waiting for you the 5th time and the 50th. It has not thinned out from overuse. It has not grown impatient with the repetition. My grace was never a limited resource you might eventually exhaust. It is a well that does not run dry, no matter how many times you return to draw from it. I know tomorrow will bring its own version of tonight's struggle. I am not asking you to solve every future moment in advance. I am only asking you to trust that when that moment comes, I will already be there, waiting, before you even remember to look for me. You have practiced coming back to me tonight. That practice matters more than you know. Each time you return, the road back to peace becomes a little more familiar, a little easier to find, even in the middle of an ordinary, unremarkable hour. Let my peace guard your heart tonight. Not because your heart has finally stopped worrying for good, but because I am the one holding the door, and I have no intention of walking away. Carry these promises with you, and before you go, receive this final blessing. Wherever you are right now, however heavy your hands still feel, let this be true for you tonight. You are not required to have this fully solved before you are allowed to rest. You are not required to promise God you'll never take the worry back again. You are only asked to keep coming back, honestly, imperfectly, as many times as it takes. May you sleep tonight knowing that grace does not run out. May the thought that keeps slipping back into your hands feel a little lighter now, held a little less tightly, watched over by someone who never once grew tired of receiving it from you. May the specific worry you carried into this prayer tonight, the one sitting heaviest, the one you didn't even say out loud, may it find itself gently outmatched by a peace that doesn't ask you to understand everything first. May you feel, even faintly, that you are not managing this alone. May the people you love be kept safe in ways beyond what your own watchfulness could ever provide. May the provision you're waiting on find its way to you in the right season, not a moment too late. May the healing your body or heart is asking for continue quietly, even while you sleep. May you wake tomorrow with permission to begin again, not because you finally earned your peace, but because His mercy is new every morning, quietly waiting for you before you even open your eyes. And if, by tomorrow afternoon, this same worry finds its way back into your hands, may you remember this prayer, and may you know, without any shame at all, that you are welcome to bring it back here again. Grace was never going to run out on you. It was never a limited supply. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath slow. Let your hands, just for tonight, stay open. You are loved. You are held. You are not alone. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Not in the ordinary hours in between. Whatever tomorrow holds. The same counter. The same drive. The same quiet moment when this worry tries to find its way home to your hands again. You will not be facing it for the first time. You will be facing it as someone who has already practiced letting go tonight. Someone who already knows the way back to this peace. Someone who is a little more familiar with opening their hands than they were this morning. That is not nothing. That is grace, quietly building something steady in you. One imperfect return at a time. Rest now, beloved. Grace will meet you again at dawn. If this prayer met you where you are tonight, consider staying a little longer with us here at the Graceful Dawn. And if you'd like a quiet moment like this to find you again tomorrow, you're always welcome to return.